we are going to learn a new song called Smoke on the Water, which is probably one of the most popular guitar riffs of all time, even though most people I don't think have ever even heard the song. Now, technically, the notes that we're doing is in a slightly different key than the original recording, but there is a reason that we're doing it that way. I want us to get used to playing open chords, like an open power chord and just open notes. And so we're going to do that. Again, like our other videos, we're going to start on the first string down here, getting the notes down and practicing there, and then we're going to move up to the power chords. Except in this one, I'm going to do it both in the same video because we've already talked about those things. So let's zoom in and we'll look at the notes that we have. Okay, so we're using similar notes that we have in the past, except we're going to add our pinky in. So again, we're on our first string, and instead of starting on the fifth, we're going to start. We have open, which is when we pluck the string, it's a 0, or an O, and when it's written in tablature, it's 0. It's the same, or it looks like an O for open. Okay, it's when you just play the string without pushing down. So our notes this time are open, and then 3, 5, and 6. And if you notice what fingers I'm using, I want you to do this too. So we've got two new things. We've got open, which we haven't used since the Batman song, and then we're throwing our pinky in. And this is where it gets tricky because our pinky's lazy. It doesn't like to work. It doesn't like to do a lot of things. But we are going to change that because you can do so many more things if you get your pinky working. So we're going to do that. Our notes, again, are open, and then our 3 is going to be by our first finger here. Our 5 is going to be our third finger here, just like we did for Eye of the Tiger. And then just to throw in one more, our pinky is going to go here on the 6th fret. Now, if you notice, this finger's out of the way again, but if you also notice, I'm leaving all of my fingers down. It is important that when you play, especially when you're playing quicker, that you're not doing this because that will slow you down for sure. You've got to leave your fingers planted, which is the opposite of what your hand wants to do. I know, so we just got to train it to do something different. Okay, so let's talk about the notes and then we'll throw it into some power chords. So again, it's open, and then 3 is our first finger. 3, 5. Okay, right there with our third finger. Open, 3, 5. Open, 3, 5, open, 3, 5. It's very similar to what we were doing before. So open, first finger on the 3rd fret, and then 3rd finger on the 5th fret right here. Okay. And then when we add the next note, you keep that here and your pinky just ends up on the 6th fret. Okay, so let's go, we'll just go start to finish, but I want you to be able to put all of your fingers here in order. Okay, so if you need to pause the video and practice just what I'm doing right here, this little finger exercise, go ahead and do that. Alright, so it's open, 3, 5, then open, 3, and then I'm putting both of these fingers down. 6, 5, and that's a quick change. You've got to have both fingers ready to go. So again, it starts open, 3, 5, open, 3, 6, 5, open, 3, 5, and then it reverses, 3, open. Okay. Open, 3, 5, open, 3, 6, 5. That's where it gets people. Open, 3, 5, 3, open. And it's twice. Open, open, 3, 5, open, 3, 6, 5, open, 3, 5, 3, open. Alright, let me do it at full speed. Open, 3, 5, open, 3, 6, 5, open, 3, 5, 3, open. Now, when we go up here to our power chords, and if you want to keep working down there, you can keep working down there. Just pause the video and rewind. If we go up to our power chords, it's going to be the same thing, open 3, 5, open 3, 6, 5, except we're going to have to switch our fingers. So remember, the open power chord only uses one finger here on the 2nd fret on the 5th string, so it's open. If you haven't watched the power chord video, go back and do that. Open, and then 3, 5, and again, keeping that same shape, 1 down and 2 over. Open, 3, 5, open, 3, and then 6, 5. It's a quick slide. Okay, then open, 3, 5, 3, open. The hardest parts of doing this in the power chord is switching your hand shape from being in this open power chord here to being here. Now, some people prefer to slide down like this where you're just pretending to touch, and that's fine if you want to do that, but I kind of want you to practice moving your hands around. It's good practice to get your hand to move quickly, okay? So if you want to slide all the way back, you can, but I challenge you to try this. Even though it's maybe not the most efficient way to do it, it'll get your hand used to doing different stuff, and that's what we want, our hand to be able to do whatever we tell it to. All right, so let's do this real quick and on the power chords, and we'll be good to go. All right, open, 3, 5, open, 3, 6, 5, open, 3, 5, 3, open. One more time. All right, rock it out.